We all know someone with a difficult life story, one that touches our hearts and makes us feel deep empathy and an immediate desire to help. But have you ever felt that this empathy turns into a burden, that the story is used to justify behaviors that hurt you? If so, you may be dealing with a narcissist, an expert in turning their past into a tool of manipulation. They tell you such a heartbreaking story that makes you feel like you're the only person in the world who can understand their pain. They move you with details of a past filled with suffering and betrayal until you find yourself justifying each of their actions, no matter how hurtful they are. But what if that story, so real and raw, is actually a trap? Narcissists are masters in the art of manipulation, using their own narrative to appeal to your empathy, trapping you in a web of guilt and justification. Today, we're going to reveal how they do it and, most importantly, how you can free yourself from their control before it's too late. The story as a tool of manipulation. Narcissists are well aware of how to use their personal stories to emotionally hook those around them. From the beginning of the relationship, they often share dramatic and moving tales about their lives, carefully designed to provoke an intense emotional response. They may talk about an extremely difficult childhood, filled with abuse or neglect, or past betrayals by friends or partners. These stories are often loaded with details that highlight their suffering and how they have been unfairly treated by life. In some cases, these narratives may have a real basis, but the narcissist often exaggerates the facts or manipulates the truth to make the story more impactful and, above all, to present themselves as a victim. The purpose of sharing these stories is not to seek genuine comfort or support, but to establish an asymmetric emotional connection. By presenting themselves as a victim of cruel circumstances, the narcissist manipulates the other person to feel compassion and develop a strong desire to protect and help them. This emotional bond becomes the foundation upon which the narcissist builds their control. The empathy they awaken in their listener becomes a powerful tool they use to justify their most selfish behaviors. Any act of manipulation, cruelty, or selfishness can be excused with a simple, "You don't know what I've been through," making the victim feel obligated to tolerate unacceptable behaviors for fear of appearing insensitive or cruel. It's important to note that this dynamic is neither an accident nor a mere byproduct of sharing their past. Narcissists plan these revelations strategically, knowing that once someone is emotionally involved, it will be much harder for that person to set clear boundaries or confront inappropriate behaviors. This subtle manipulation is a clear example of how the narcissist uses the power of emotions to exert control, turning others' vulnerability and empathy into weapons for their own benefit. Victimhood as a mechanism of control. Victimhood is one of the most effective tactics in a narcissist's arsenal. They adopt the role of the victim not only to gain sympathy, but also to avoid responsibility for their own actions. When a narcissist is faced with criticism or confrontation, their immediate response is usually to divert attention to their own sufferings and pains, minimizing or ignoring the harm they've caused others. This behavior is designed to make the other person feel guilty for even daring to question the narcissist, thereby reversing the roles of aggressor and victim. This control mechanism is reinforced as the relationship progresses. The narcissist repeats their stories of suffering whenever they feel threatened or when their behavior is questioned. The person who cares for the narcissist, especially if they have an empathetic nature, may start to internalize the idea that the narcissist is acting this way because of their pain and, therefore, deserves special understanding. This dynamic creates a cycle where the victim feels obligated to repeatedly forgive the abuses and provide unconditional support, while the narcissist takes advantage of this indulgence to continue their behavior without changing anything. It is crucial to understand that this type of victimhood is an emotional manipulation tool, not a genuine cry for help. A person who truly seeks to heal from their difficult past will work on their issues in a way that does not involve hurting others. However, the narcissist uses their past as a convenient excuse to avoid any form of self-reflection or change, manipulating their environment to provide them with support and validation, no matter how destructive their behavior may be. This strategic use of victimhood allows the narcissist to maintain control over the relationship, ensuring that the other person is always emotionally indebted to them. The reality behind the mask. Behind the mask of narcissistic victimhood lies a harsh truth. We all have wounds and traumas from the past, but how we choose to face them defines who we are. Painful experiences are not valid excuses to justify abusive or manipulative behaviors. An emotionally mature person recognizes their wounds, seeks to heal them, and, most importantly, does not use their pain as a justification to hurt others. The narcissist, however, does not seek this type of growth. Instead, they use their story as a weapon to manipulate and control those around them. The reality is that while the life stories of narcissists may be moving and, in some cases, authentic, they do not justify or excuse emotional abuse. Suffering in the past does not give one the right to hurt others in the present. However, the narcissist relies on their story to move their victims so much that they feel obligated to endure their behavior, believing they are helping someone who has suffered greatly. This creates an environment where the narcissist can continue to abuse emotionally without facing consequences, as their victims are emotionally trapped and manipulated into tolerating the intolerable. How to protect yourself. Protecting yourself from a narcissist's emotional trap begins with self-awareness and recognizing the signs of manipulation. It is crucial to develop a clear understanding of the difference between genuine empathy and emotional exploitation. One of the keys to not falling into the narcissist's manipulation is learning to listen to your intuition. If you feel something is off, it probably is. It's also important to constantly remind yourself that everyone has emotional responsibilities and that past suffering does not justify abusive behaviors in the present. Another effective way to protect yourself is to establish and maintain firm boundaries. The narcissist will constantly try to cross these boundaries, using their life story to make you feel guilty or insensitive for standing up for yourself. This is where the importance of being clear and consistent with your boundaries lies. It is essential that you do not let yourself be swayed by the fear of being perceived as cruel or uncaring. Remember that protecting your emotional well-being is not selfishness but a necessity for maintaining healthy relationships. Additionally, seek the support of people who can see the situation from an external and objective perspective, such as friends, family, or a therapist, who can help you maintain clarity and focus. Finally, the act of protecting yourself also involves recognizing your own worth. Understanding that you deserve respect, love, and consideration empowers you to make decisions that favor your emotional well-being. If you find yourself in a relationship where your emotions and boundaries are constantly ignored or manipulated, it may be necessary to make the difficult decision to distance yourself or even cut ties completely. Don't be afraid to prioritize your emotional and mental health. In the end, freeing yourself from a narcissist's influence will not only allow you to regain your peace and stability, but also open the door to healthier and more genuine relationships in the future. I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments, and if you like the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.